Okay, New York session live. New York session starts right now at the start of the new H8 bar. It's NFP day and NFP news just dropped 30 minutes ago. Made some moves in the market. I looked at all the indices. Usually I'm trading the New York US indices during this time, but I kind of like Nikkei. It's broken out of this entire range, and I think I'm going to focus on Nikkei. The rest are still inside of a range. As gold, D30, these are still in between ranges while this one is starting to push out. So kind of focused on Nikkei at the moment. And what I want to see is I want to see price pull back and then I want to take a buy. So I still have a bit of time here. I'm going to wait until 8:30. I think I'm going to go over the process on how I'm trading now. So first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at the higher time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, and the H8, and I basically want to know which time frame I can use as my higher time frame bias. If I'm using the monthly, then these are swing trades. Weekly and daily are day trades. H8 are session trades. If I drop down to H1 or H2, then these are going to be more scalps. And sometimes I even use the M15 for a scalping session as well. But I only look at scalping if I don't see anything else on the higher time frames or if there's no setups for me. So right now I can see the indicator lets me know if this icon is lit up, tells me that I can use this time frame as my higher time frame bias. Um, and so the whole idea is I want a strong directional bias on a higher time frame, and then I want to drop down to lower time frames and trade in that direction. So in the WAP, I went over all the criteria that I'm looking at. It's in a video called "Setting My Higher Time Frame Bias." You can check that out. Posted it about a week ago. I go over each one of these points. And so if you want to know what I'm looking for, you can check out that video. But essentially, all I'm looking for right now on the indicator is just to see if this is lit up. So if it's lit up, I can use this as my hard time frame bias. If it's not, this one's green, so I know that it's a bullish bias, but it tells me that something is wrong with it. And in this case, there's a range on the M15 chart. So I'm still bullish on this, but this is probably not the best time frame to use as my higher time frame bias. So there's a bunch I can see on the monthly, weekly, daily, and the H8 as well as the H2. There's a bunch of them. I don't want to set my frame my trade around every single time frame. Lots of times, different time frames will move in different ways. So I definitely want to choose one time frame that I'm comfortable with, and I want to frame my entire trade based off of one time frame. So on the monthly, it's a pullback continuation. So we are broken out on the yearly as well as 6 months. Came down, faked out the low. This is fake out retracement. Getting above that breakout level is a pullback continuation. So both of them are pullback continuations. These are good unidirectional cycles. But one thing about pullback continuations are we're above breakout level, above peak level, but pullback continuations go right back into the price action on the left. So lots of times you have to be careful. If there's lots of wicks, you're going to expect lots of resistance on the way up. So if you're going to take pullback continuation trades, make sure your stops are away or at the lowest you can possibly put it. Nothing wrong with taking those trades, but just be aware that there's probably going to be a lot of choppiness. So the setup for me here, my natural tendency is for me to see price drop down. So this is a monthly bar. I trade that monthly bar on the H4 or H8. You can see there at the bottom, execution time frame. Trading it on the H8, this is where I trade that monthly bar. What I want to see happen is price come down and fake out the momentum time frame, which is the weekly in this case. So this is my natural tendency. I want to see price drop down after a strong move. So when we have a breakout, right now it's a breakout bar. I'm looking for price to come down, fake out the low, and then I want to get in on the flip of the breakout level. So this is a reversal pattern, and this entire setup is a trend retracement setup. So this is what I naturally look for. My natural tendency, I'm more of a reversal or pullback trader. I'm looking for fake outs, but there are many people who are breakout traders. If you're looking for breakouts, you'd want to see price get up to this previous week high. If you're more of a fake out trader, then you want to see price come down and fake out that previous week low. In this case, this is going to be on the H8. Each one of these bars are H8 time frame bars. I kind of doubt that price is going to come down or even break out during this session. So I probably don't think I'll be using the monthly bar as my higher time frame bias. So I'm just going to discard this one, and I'll just remember that higher time frames are bullish, but I'm not going to frame my trade around a monthly move. I'd rather this come down and fake out a low or flip a breakout level. Um, and so I'm not going to take a trade based off of this bar. On the weekly, pullback continuation, false breakout. Here on the 3 months, we have a breakout. Price broke out even further, eventually made its way back in. This is a breakout reversal. Getting above breakout level is a false breakout on that 3 months. And 6 months pullback continuation, same as this one. Got to be careful about what's going on in the left side. But this is a good cycle. The setup on this one, it's a breakout followed by a fake out. Again, same thing. I'm always looking for price to come down and fake out a low. And so this is a move that I'd be looking for. I'd be interested to take a buy from here on a lower time frame, but if I'm trading on this time frame, I'm looking to take a buy on that flip of the breakout level. In this case, the stop would be too far for me, so I wouldn't be looking for this. And since it's a trend retracement, that tells me that I need a strong higher time frame trend, and so I do expect the trend to continue. And so my target would be up to that previous week high, but of course, there's lots of levels in between that I'd be have to look out for. This is not enough for me. 1.2R. This is not something that I'd put much money in. I wouldn't risk anything on this one. I definitely want a bit more than that. So I wouldn't be taking this one. But even if you did, you would probably still be in this, and eventually maybe it'll go through. I have no idea what it's going to do, but it's certainly looking more bullish than bearish at the moment. So that was the first time that I could look for my setup. That breakout flip of the breakout level failed, and the second time I can look for that setup is when it triggered here again. And right now we flipped that breakout level and we broke out of the high. So now this is a more of a breakout trade, flipping that breakout level, trend reversal on the daily, and this is now when I could be, or actually this bar. I don't trade this in London, but this would have been an area that I could look for a buy. Don't mind this one. I just need this to pull back and give me an entry here. Something else I like about this, I can see that we're in a range on the daily. There's an inside bar over here, a range on the high, range on the low. Whenever you fake out one side of a range, I expect price to get down to the other side. And I don't anticipate any breakouts. The range continues to exist until there's a breakout bar that closes below the range and below the previous peak. So right now I'm just assuming that price is just going to bounce up and down until it finally breaks out. Again, I don't anticipate the move right now. We faked out that low, and now I'm expecting price to get back up to this range high. Higher time frames are bullish, so I'd rather be buying. So I do like this move. Don't know if I'll get the pullback today, but for sure I'll be looking for a pullback on Monday to continue the daily move. But right now, let's see if I can catch some sort of pullback here. I don't mind the weekly. I think I might use the weekly as the higher time frame bias. We've already triggered the momentum time frame, which is the daily over here. We are a little bit extended, so I might drop down to lower time frames and see if I can catch something even better. On the daily, so again, we're in a range here. At the bottom, we have not triggered a momentum time frame, which is the monthly here. Month high is here, previous month low here. I can quickly tell by just seeing if that check mark is if it's shown or not. Haven't updated the beta version yet. Still fiddling around with these icons, but the current version, this check mark is inside this box. I decided to pull it out because it's really quickly. It's one of the important things about how I trade. I need to see that momentum time frame triggered, so decided to extract it from that box. This one has not triggered that momentum time frame, and that's relevant because the way that I trade, I don't care at all how price is moving. All I care about is which peak it has triggered. So I can tell that it's triggered the peak of the month over here and closed below it. And I can tell that the market is moving bearish just based off of where price is closing in relation to its peak. I can tell that over here we're starting to flip, and now we're bullish because we triggered that peak and got above it. And right now, last month closed as a bullish breakout bar, and we have not triggered the current month. So I have no idea where price is going to go right now. All I know is that the last piece of information the market gave me is that it broke out of the previous month high. So I am bullish here. I have a bullish bias, but I don't know where price is going to go. If it's going to continue up or if it's going to come down, no idea. So I don't care how these bars look like. All I care about is which momentum peak has been triggered. And so because of that, I'm not going to use the daily as my bias time frame. I think it's going to be on the weekly. I actually might drop down even further. I can go down through all the time frames and basically look at the execution time frame and do my analysis. But I can already tell you that I'm probably going to be looking at the weekly because this one is right at nice levels. It has triggered the momentum time frame, and I just want to see some sort of retracement. I can already see that the market is retracing. I think I'm going to frame my trade around this H1. Right, so we've got a breakout bar. Again, what I'm looking for in breakout bars is for price to come down and fake out. That's a retracement move. That's my favorite setup. And so I'm going to frame my trade around this H1 bar. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so how do I frame this trade? I think a lot of people, they get a bit confused sometimes when they see so many different time frames. They get a little bit, um, hold on a second. Sorry, my son just walked in. Some people get confused with all these different time frames, but you need to understand that sometimes these time frames don't align, right? And so it's really important to just pick one. And so I'm going to pick the H1. I am aware of what everything is doing, but I'm going to pick the H1 and I'm going to frame my trade around this H1 bar. So I'm going to go to a different chart, and actually let's start over here. I'm looking at Nikkei. And I'm framing my trade around that H1. So if I'm going to take a trade on the H1, the execution time frame for this trade is either going to be on the M3 or the M1. And so essentially all I'm doing right now is I want to see the M3 and the M1. I'm bullish. I have a bullish bias. I want to take this up. If the H1 time frame is above its breakout level, then I'm looking to trade the bar. If we're going against the breakout level, like let's say I'm bullish here, but we're going against that breakout level, then over here is where I'd be looking to trade momentum. So I trade momentum on the M3. H1 is the momentum time frame. In this case, once price triggers that momentum time frame here on the daily, this is when I could drop down and look to take an entry here. And the entries I'm looking for are always going to be those reversal or the entry patterns that I've been talking about recently, reversal, continuation, or pullback patterns. So right here, once you trigger that, the entry over here would be as price flips this breakout level. Let's say false breakout move. The indicator tells me exactly which bar I should enter on the M3. So here's one. If one bar stop, if you took a one bar stop, you get stop loss, but then you have a second entry right here, same exact thing, false breakout move. In this case, the idea would be, I think for sure I'd get a stop loss. I don't think I'd put my stops below here, but I would definitely jump in on the second one here, and the target would be up in this H1 all the way back up to that breakout level or the weekly open probably. So that one would have worked out. And so if you're going against the breakout level, then you're looking to trade momentum. So again, here's another one right here, flip of the breakout level. And those only happen at swing points. This particular one, not the best because it didn't fake out the low. But anyways, this is not what I'm worried about. What I want to focus on is the trade right now. Sometimes I get off track a little bit. So we have a breakout bar. And again, what I'm looking for is for price to come down and fake out the low. And I'm looking for this exact setup. Fake out a low. I want to gain at the low of the bar. Right now, the M15 low, which is the momentum time frame for the H1, is right here. It's an inside bar. There's actually a string of inside bars here, so this is actually not good. So I could see the bar flow is not good. Here's the M15 range low, M15 range high, I'm guessing is right here. I definitely need to see price come down, or this is what I'd rather see, price to come down, fake out that range low, or stay above here. But I don't want to take one from up here. Next thing I'm looking for is a breakout at the top. So I'm either going to look for retracement move, which is my natural tendency. Next thing I'm looking for is consolidation above levels, and then a breakout at the top. We do have consolidation here at 2 inside bars. That's good enough for me. If it comes up here, I'll take that breakout. But I'd rather this come down. Okay, and that's it. Gold's in a range here. Yeah, these are all kind of stuck. These are also potential breakouts because we are in ranges here, H8 range. But I do like Nikkei and how it's moving, so I'll focus on that one at the moment. Took Aussie USD in Asia, but unfortunately got break even here. Ended up getting through, but just how it goes sometimes. And yeah, okay, that's it. So just gonna wait for this to play out. I'm gonna switch this over. Don't need to see these cycles anymore. And this will be all right. So again, looking for this to pull back, and I'll be back. Okay, so this is pushing a little bit too high for me. I'm going to reframe my trade. I'm going to look at the H2. H2 is going to close in 40 minutes here. I'm going to keep both of them up, H2 and H1, but I think I'm going to wait for this H2. This one's not retracing. So I'm going to reframe my trade and look at that H2. I trade that H2 on the M2. So looking at the M2, and on the H1, I traded on the M1. So reframing the trade, and I'll see if this pulls back on the H2. Okay, so the H2 bar closed in breakout. Now I'm looking for the H2 to retrace and hopefully retrace down here somewhere or even to that previous H1 low. I want to see a fake out, and then I'm looking for a reversal pattern. So the pattern I like to trade the most is this one, reversal pattern, breakout, faking out the low, breakout reversal, and then flipping that breakout level, false breakout. Currently it's right here, flipping this, but this is too high for me. I like to frame these trades closer to these white levels. So if it's on the H2, actually there's a weak fake out level right here. So this could be a possible area that I could look for at trade. Basically, it has to be at some sort of key level. I don't want it to be in the middle of nowhere. Okay, and so that's what I'm waiting for. Okay, so here we go. Price is now pushing down, faking out the low, going to drop down even lower now. I want to see a lower time frame. So do you want to check out that 4 hour, 2 hour, the 1 hour here? Inside bar came down at that range, so this is all good. Triggering that low. Gonna see the 3 minute. I'm basically looking to see which time frame I'm going to take this trade off of. Right now, I do kind of like this 4 hour. 1 hour's in a range. Okay, so we are pushing down. So I'm either going to take it on the 3 minute or the 2 minute. Okay, so it's pushing down pretty far. So now I'm just waiting for price to get back above. I'm going to drop down even further here. I'm going to go 1 minute here. Breakout levels right over here. On the 2-minute, so on the 2-minute, I'm trading this H2 bar, which is what I was originally looking for. So I think I'll stick with this one. So the entry on the 2-minute is if price gets above this M30 breakout level. The 1-minute, we are in a range here. Still, there's a chance actually that this can close and breakout. I actually do want this to close and breakout to take out that range, and then I'll look for a reversal at the bottom here. But there's still plenty of time. So if I do get an entry, if price does get above this breakout level and go to the 1-minute here, then they're all kind of, all the entries are pretty much all in the same area. So if it does give me an entry, then I'll take it. The stop is going to be a bit too large for me. I'd rather see this push down even further. So we are right at exactly at the level that I want it to be. See the 8-hour here. 2-hour here closes in about 30-40 minutes. If it closes like this, it's going to be an inside bar. Okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for this 2-hour bar to close, and I'll be checking it either on the 5-minute or the 2-minute. Okay, I'm gonna keep that original one that I had. 5-minute, the H2 is the momentum time frame on this on the H2, and then the 2-minute is the bar. So these are the two time frames I'm going to be looking at. If price gets back above this M30 breakout level, then I'll put a small position, but I think it's better to wait for this bar to close. And then if this closes as an inside bar, then I would want this one to get faked out before trying to get back in. But if it gives me the entry now, then I'll just take this one with lower risk. Yeah, I would much rather this close and then price come down. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that H1. It's going to be 5-minute, 2-minute, and then I can drop down even further. Trading the 5-minute bar, I can trade it on the 15 seconds. So right now I'm bullish, but we are bearish now on the 5-minute. So I'm dropping down even further to trade the M5 momentum. So M5, I trade that on the 15 seconds. It's not ready yet, but I'm waiting for, I want to watch the momentum here before taking this one. But again, I hope that this does stay here for another 30 minutes, and then hopefully I can get it price come down, fake out a low on the M5. Okay, so that's what I'm waiting for now. Either price flipping the M30 breakout level, then I can take it. Otherwise, I'm hoping that this continues to stay below the M30 low, which pushes this down, and hopefully it can stay here for the next 30 minutes, and then I can take a buy from down here instead. So maybe I shouldn't be looking at the 15 seconds just yet, just to not confuse anybody. This is how I'm framing it right now. H2, M5 is the momentum, and M2 is I'm trading that bar. And so I want to see my setup on one of these. Okay, so price finally came down and triggered that low. This is what I'm looking for on the H8. Came down, H8 looking all right. This is going to be a trade off of that monthly open. And then on the H2, it's also triggered that momentum time frame. the M30 over here. Okay, so now looking for a buy. A little bit late, but still decent shot here. M2 is bearish, and so I can drop down even further here and look at a lower time frame. Okay, so the M2 is bearish over here, and I want to take it up. We're below that M2 breakout level, which is right down here. And so now I want to trade the momentum of the M2. I wanted to see price flip back up. We're getting close to that hour, so I might just wait for the hour to open. But again, I'm looking for those reversal patterns, and I'm going to time an entry on the lower time frames, and then size in as we get going back in the right direction. Okay, so 11:45. I'm gonna wait for the 1 hour bar. Just have a quick look here. This is all right. Actually, I would like this to close and break out. That would be ideal. Take out that range. Okay, I'm just going to take one shot at it. If it doesn't work, then I'll just wait for the move on Monday. Okay, waiting 12 minutes for this. Okay, new hour. M30 breakout level just got pushed down. It's over here. So the entry is now going to be right here. If I'm taking that on the M2, ideal scenarios for price to come down and show me a rejection at the low here. I always prefer taking these false breakout moves if I see a rejection. So I want to see price come down and reject that move down, breakout reversal, and then get in on the flip here. But if it doesn't do that, I don't mind getting in on the flip because the H2 low is also another type of rejection as well. Okay, so these are my two areas. Don't see a nice pattern here on the 10 seconds, so I might not be looking at this one. I'll just keep it up just in case I spot something right at the end. But for now, I'm just going to be focused on here. And the idea with trend retracement setups is that price will get back up to the top. So I'd be looking to trade back up to the top. Okay, so we've just pushed down even further. And now the 10 seconds looks a lot cleaner now. So I'm looking for a false breakout move, flipping this level right here. This would be the first place I'd be looking for an entry. And then I'll just slowly get in as it gets back to the top if it wants to do that. It's getting pushed down a bit. No rejection at the low yet. So if there's no rejection, I'm looking for a trend reversal instead above the M2 high. Okay, so the M2 has flipped. That's a false breakout move, but again, no rejection at the low. So I'm not going to trust this move unless we can fake out the previous M10 low. We are below the weak fake out level as well, and there is a range here on the H2 possibility this can go down even lower. But I'm trying to get really tight position here. Okay, we closed where I wanted it to close, looking for a continuation. Okay, here's a new M10. And we have not triggered the momentum time frame. We'd like it to come down or break out at the top. Okay, prices come down, rejected. This is an entry, but again, we're really close to that breakout level. I'm just going to wait for that. I think I definitely want to wait until it can get above this M30 low. We're breaking out below the H2 low. H2 is in breakout, and I want to see that reversal first, I think. These are aggressive entries. If you're trading right at these time frames, these are definitely really aggressive. Safer entry on the 2-minute is above the M30 breakout level. New M30 is in 15 minutes. M5 is also at that M30 breakout level. If I drop down to M1, M1 entry is also at that M30 breakout level. So this is definitely the safer entry at this point, which actually might change here in 10 seconds for the M1. Breakout level is going to get pushed down. Okay, so that M15 breakout level was over here. Now it got pushed down. And so I do want to see a rejection at the low. If I don't get that, then I'm looking for a breakout above the M15 high, which is a trend reversal on the M15. Okay, so still no entry here. Still just patiently waiting. Again, there's a possibility that, a good possibility that there's not going to have a move. But if there's no momentum, there's no entry. So right now, price is continuing to come down. There's no entry at all for me on any of these time frames. And so, yeah, if there's no entry, I might just be wrong with the direction. Actually, I'm pretty sure I'm correct with the direction, but it might might be a maybe it's done for today. It looks like it's retracing. This looks like a good trend retracement move for Monday. But if it does set up for me right now, then I'll still take it. Okay, here we go. Just flipped. Gonna wait for closure here and then continuation. Okay, got in on that move. Stop loss right at the low. Okay, that's the first entry. I'm going to be sizing into this trade. Second entry is going to be above the previous M15 high, which is hiding behind this level. So I no longer need to look at that 10-second. Oh, here's a 1 minute and 2 minute. Okay, so these are going to be the three entries, two entries, three entries, 10-second, 1 minute, and it's throwing me off a bit. Actually, I can look at the 5 minute as well. Five-minute entry. So this is a breakout continuation on the 5 minute if it can get above that H2. So I don't have any additional entry here. Just waiting to see if I get one on the M1 and on the M2. Okay, price pushing up, trend reversal on the M15. So no entry on the M1. Didn't close and breakout here. So I'm going to be looking at the M3, and we're flipping the H1 breakout level. So still about 30 seconds here. Okay, start of the new hour. And just got an entry here. Trend reversal. Looking for continuation. Just looking at all the different time frames. Okay, got in. Second position, and I think that's it. Not gonna take any more. Just gonna let this play out. Okay, so two positions. First target would be, since I was trading that H2, I'm looking for a move up to the, at least to this level. But I am looking for, ultimately, I want to see price get all the way up to that high of the range. So that would be about an 8-hour move. But we are also really bullish on all the time frames. So I do think there's a decent chance that this can continue on even more. But on the daily, I do think that this is going to retrace first. Lots of times when you see these higher time frame bars, whenever they close before continuing on, you'll see price creates a wick, right? It'll pull back very often. Not very often you'll see something like this where it just continues on. Usually there's going to be some sort of pullback before a move continues. So let's see, where am I here? So my stops are right below here, below this entire structure. Yeah, I'm still kind of in the danger zone for this one. So I'll just let it run for a bit. If it's going nowhere, I'll just exit. But if we are kind of halfway, then I'll just keep it over the weekend. Risk very little on this one, so I don't mind holding this one. I do think that I do want it to get all the way up to that high of the range. Um, yeah, and we are at a level where I would expect it to get all the way up. But this particular trade right now, I'm trading just the small range up to that top. All right, that's it. And I'll just let this run and then see what happens later. But just to recap, um, I was looking at Nikkei. The reason why is because all the others were kind of in a range, while I felt that Nikkei was breaking out of a range. Um, and so that's why I focused on that one. First thing I do is I look at all the higher time frames to see which bar I can use as my bias bar. And there were a bunch, but a lot of them I felt that the setup wouldn't happen on this time frame, so I dropped down to lower time frames, and I ended up choosing either the H1 or H2. Can't remember which one, and then I just framed my trade around that that time frame and was waiting for a trend retracement move. So it did not happen the first H2, and then I ended up getting that second one over here. So even though this is over multiple bars, this is still, I consider, a trend retracement move. Looks cleaner on the 3 minute here, which is the H4 bar. Yeah. H8 as well, I think, also looked all right, but this is more of a continuation trade. Yeah, so H8 as well, above H2 breakout level, faking out that low, flipping it, and that's it.